Zel Boy Army, welcome to another video on the channel. This one is one that I think could be a pretty fun one to do. We are doing icon tier lists. And to start with, we are going to do with defenders, keepers. The next parts, so part 2 will be all the midfielders, and then part 3, as you can imagine, will be all the attackers. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to give them a letter S to E. S means top tier, so like up there for the best player in their position in the game. A equals elite, B equals very good, C equals just about usable, D equals awful, and E equals YEA. Why is this icon that bad, basically? There's going to be quite a mix. You might disagree with some, you might agree with most, I don't know. I have not tested every player on this video, and I'll put that out there to start with because I can't afford to test all 100 icons. Every icon I'm going to be putting in this tier list is their prime version. I'm going to be ranking them based on if I have used them, which I've used plenty of them, if I've played against them, and then what their stats look like. So what the key stats are for that position. We're going to do this for every icon eventually, and it's going to be a 3-part series. If you like tier lists, this type of thing, please let me know. I could maybe move to doing tier lists for other players, not just the icons. Thank you guys for the support recently as well. It has blown me away, the support on the YouTube recently. I appreciate you guys. So, we're starting with the right backs. Philipp Lahm is our lowest ranked right back. In my opinion, I'm putting him at a B/C. He's obviously usable, and this is coming from the perspective of someone looking at the very best players in the game. And icons obviously aren't cheap either. What I'll be doing as well is I'll be giving a ranking, a tier list, a letter for them based on just the card, and then I'll also put the cards in value order. So I'll give them a ranking on their value. We'll do all the rankings on their ability, and then we'll get to the value afterwards. But Lahm, B/C, usable to very good. The key stats that we're going to be looking for in fullbacks are pace, physical, and those are the first two. Then defending and dribbling and passing are all part of it. Shooting's irrelevant, and weak foot and skills do matter, more so the weak foot. Lahm with the 3-star skill moves and weak foot, that hurts him a bit. He's not that quick, so you'd want to put a shadow on him, but then he's got awful physical. So that does hurt him. He's good on the ball, but not great. He's got elite passing for a right back. And I think he may be more so towards the B category because he's going to be better and more usable than the average right back. But I don't think he's better than a B. He's probably the worst prime icon right back that we've got, in my opinion. Next, we've got ZANETTI. He is coming in at a B. You can put a shadow on him because he does lack the pace of some of the elite right backs now, which means he doesn't get the physical boost from an anchor like some of the elite ones who don't need a full 10 pace. But he's got good enough physical anyway. He's not the best on the ball, but he does have elite passing. His jumping does let him down a bit. It's that bad to the point that he can be a bit of a liability at the back post, but luckily on this game, heading's not a big deal. The 4-star weak foot, though, is really nice, and I do like that. It makes him very good on the ball compared to some other players, so I'm giving him a B. ZANBROTTA. I'm putting ZANBROTTA in the S/A tier. I don't think he's quite good enough for me to give a flat out S, and as the year goes on, he will drop down. This is a tier list as of the 5th of February based on all the other cards in the game. The 4-star skills and 5-star weak for are amazing and makes ZANBROTTA really stand out. He's quick. He's got great physicals. He's got very solid defending. If he had like 2 or 3 more pace and 3 or 4 more on his dribbling stats, I'd put him S tier. But because he's not got low to mid-90s pace, it means I have to put a shadow on him to get him to 99 pace. Because when you're paying this much for a card like this, you want him to have 99 pace to deal with the top attackers. It means he doesn't get the full physical boost. But it's a very good card. ZANBROTTA for a right back for me, S/A tier. And then Carlos Alberto, I'm putting S/A as well. I don't think any of these right backs are like the very, very best. I think there's arguments for the new Reece James being about as good as these. And Trent, I do think, is ahead of these icons at the moment. When we get the Moments icons later this month, there could be an update to this tier list, and I will do a video on the Moments icons when they come out. But yeah, Carlos Alberto, he lacks the skill moves, doesn't have a 5-star weak foot, but 3-star, 4-star is pretty good still. Very good passing, but then lacks the long pass. Very good defending and physical. Very, very good card. And you maybe could just stretch to an anchor on him. I don't know. You probably still want to shut it for the max pace. These two are very good, but I don't think they quite stand out enough for an S tier. Okay, we are now on to the left backs, and there is two of them. We've got Ashley Cole and Roberto Carlos. I am ranking Roberto Carlos just above Ashley Cole, purely on the extra physical stats that this guy gets. I think that's quite nice, and he's slightly faster. The dribbling, passing, defending, they're all pretty close. They both have 3-star, 2-star. I like the high on Roberto Carlos as well. Ashley Cole, so I'm ranking him lower than Roberto Carlos. I am giving him a B, a very good. He could be a B/A, but there's quite a lot of good left backs on this game. So he's somewhere in the middle of there. It's a crying shame that Ashley Cole struggles to be an elite on this game, though. The lack of weak foot hurts him. He's not great physically, and there's just a lot of good left backs on this game at the moment. Roberto Carlos, I'm going to give him an elite. He just has that extra physical over Ashley Cole to get into the elite, the A tier. But he's definitely not top tier. He doesn't compete with Alphonso Davies' team of the year whatsoever. That's more so partly just because of how good Alphonso Davies is. But I also wouldn't even say this card's as good as the headliner Theo Hernandez. So for me, Roberto Carlos, A, elite tier, just below the top cards at the moment. And then Ashley Cole, A/B tier. Before we get to the centre-backs, we are going to look at the keepers. Yashin, even though he has a hat, is coming in at the bottom of them. I am putting this guy awful. When I say that, it's because there's so many good keepers on this game. And Yashin is one of the worst keepers I've used all FIFA. He has some of his own animations. I don't know if he's bugged, but he just bugs him out in game. He let in so many easy shots. He just kept seeming to let shots in straight at him. He would stand past the post. I don't get why he was so bad. He was nearly in the YEA category for me. He's got amazing stats, but he just played awful. His height didn't seem good. But then I've used Edison, and he's pretty good. So for me, Yashin is a D, and it's a disgrace that the Ballon d'Or winning keeper's that bad. But even the hat don't give him superpowers. Schmeichel's coming at the B, very good tier for me. I didn't really prefer him to like a Nick Pope, and there's quite a few non-icon keepers that I put him above. For me, he's good. If you pack him untradeable, he's not going to be unusable, but he doesn't stand out as much as he could. He was pretty good in one-on-one saves. I thought he might have had the one-on-one trait. But yeah, pretty good keeper. Not quite good enough for me to go in the elite tier. CECH and Van der Sar are the next two. They're pretty close. You could put them either side. I just preferred Van der Sar. I think the cautionary crosses compared to Cubs of crosses was what swung it for me. I'm making them both A elite. The reason that they're not going to get into the S tier for me is because Team of the Year Neuer is that good, head and shoulders above any keeper I've used. He's just amazing. Has his own animations. He's so quick off the line that before Team of the Year, these would have been S/A tier. Now they're going into the A tier. So the meta and the power curve will always change, and that's why I do updates on these type of videos. But yeah, they're very good, but not quite in the S tier now. Okay, we are at the centre-backs now. And this pisses me off, I'm not going to lie. Bobby Moore is at the bottom of our prime icon centre-backs, and I'm giving him an E, a YEA. He's not got fantastic physicals. Like, that strength and aggression at this point in the game for a 92 centre-back's not very good. His dribbling is decent for a centre-back. He's got insane defending, but that pace just smacks you in the face and says, through ball against me. Even with a shadow, you are only getting him 78 pace, which is still really slow, and he'll have no physical boost. His weak foot's okay, but he's small as well, 5'10" small. Even on one depth drop back, you are going to struggle with the pace. He's that bad on this game. A World Cup winning captain, one of the greatest centre-backs of all time. He pocketed Pele in a game, and I'm giving him an E, a YEA. I would rather use Gold Tomori than Prime Bobby Moore on FIFA 21, and that is a crying shame. But yeah, it's just how it is. I don't want you guys to be saying, oh, Zoe, you can get a good level on this game. You just can't. And it's a shame, but Bobby Moore is going to be ranked the lowest on this list. Franco Baresi. My dad says he's the best centre-back he has ever watched in his life. And we're giving him an E again, YEA. Weak, small, no pace, just barely usable on the game. Apparently, he was really good going forward as well in real life, but EA didn't reflect that. I don't know why EA can't just give these centre-backs like 80-odd pace just to make them usable in game, just adjust them, whatever. These cards should be some of the best players in the game, but you're useless. Alessandro Nesta. Alessandro Nesta, either. He's getting a D. Too slow, but he's very good for... He could maybe be D/C. I just think he doesn't get into the usable category because he's that slow. Decent card in some ways, but where pace really matters on this game. Last year I would have given him a C, a usable, but where pace is just so big on this game, he goes into the D awful tier. He's that good physically, and he's taller with great defending stats that when you're on drop back, he can be pretty good, but he's just so slow, he's going to be a liability. Fernando HIERRO, a D again. Fantastic card until you look at the pace. And pace, I wish pace wasn't such a big deal. I wish, guys, that I wasn't having to write off so many cards that are good across the board until you look at the pace. But if you use these cards, you are going to struggle. I've played this guy so much in Weekend League. I think he was an SBC, or one of his cards was, and it was just easy. Just run past him, do free balls. It's too easy. Carlos Puyol, a D again, and man alive, I love Puyol, but whilst he's very, very good at the defending and ridiculous physical stats, he's got no agility and balance dribbling. The agility balance means he turns really slow against through balls. He's slow. It just makes him unusable in game and very easy to play against. So he's a D again. Look, just look at that. 5 of the greatest centre-backs to ever play football, and they're unusable on FIFA. KOEMAN, I'm giving him a C. He's a bit too slow, and he could have gone into the D tier, but he's that well-rounded and just a bit more pace that I'm going to give him a C. He's usable, but he ain't going to be great. Vidic, putting him into the B tier. Again, a bit slow at this point of the game to put him too high. He's got elite defending physical. If he gets a moments card that gives him like 81, 82 pace, he'd maybe get into the elite tier. He's tall, pretty good card, but the pace really does lay it down. CANNAVARO, we're putting him in the elite tier. Well, no, actually, I'm putting him A/B. If he had 84 sprint speed instead, he would push into the elite tier because he's got such good agility that he turns quick. He's great physically, such good defending, probably the second best after Maldini. He's a bit small, which does hurt him a bit, but he turns so well that helps. But I'm not putting him right in the elite tier because of that sprint speed being so low, so it's an A/B. But he is good. Sol Campbell, the elite tier. Less pace than Cannavaro, but in terms of the acceleration, but he has more sprint speed, elite physical. His ability on the ball is not too bad on this game. It doesn't matter as much. Elite defending with that crazy strength. He's going into the elite tier and he's a nightmare to play against. Blanc, elite tier again. A bit too slow to be pushed into the S tier on this game, in my opinion. But being 6'4", having some pretty well-rounded stats is nice. If you sit deep, he might be pushed into the S tier. Maldini, I'm putting him S/A tier. The argument against some of these centre-backs being S tier is that they're not Van Dijk team of the year. But you can have two cards at centre-back, so they can compete to be one of the best 2 centre-backs in the game. He's a similar card to Ramos outside the physicals. He's got insane defending, the very best in the game. Great weak foot. If he had 5 more strength, 10 more aggression, he would be out-and-out S tier. He's going to be one of the worst for value, though. But in terms of pure ability, S/A. Rio, I'm putting him S tier. Elite, maybe close to A because the sprint speed not being up there with some of the top centre-backs, but he's still going to be rapid. Great physical defending. And then Desai, I'm pushing to S tier. He just has that extra physical over Rio, that when you have a shadow, he still has elite physical. He's a bit better on the ball than Rio. Very similar cards. I like the extra defending work around Desai, even though it's not a big deal. But these 3, top tier. But that's how we're ranking these cards, the tier list. Do you agree with that? I'm going to quickly readjust all these and make a value tier. But let me know what you think. Do you like how I'm doing this video? Do you agree with my views? Do you think I've been unfair on some of them? Let me know. For the keeper's value, we're going to go quickly through the value, by the way. But YASHIN is 700k. He's the highest rated prime icon, so that's probably why he's going to cost that much. I am putting him in the E for awful value. Why? 700k when he's nowhere near as good as some of the other keepers. He's the most expensive keeper in the game right now. He's shocking, and he's right at the bottom of the value tier for me. Van der Sar coming at about 600k. I'm going to put him in a C for it. That is expensive, and some of his lower rated cards are arguably better and a lot cheaper. At this price, and there's not that many Dutch centre-backs. Obviously, you do have Van Dijk or Kleiber, but I just don't think he's worth it at all. You're probably going to notice with a lot of these icon values, I don't think many of them are going to be good value. Icons tend to be overpriced. SCHMEICHEL, he's coming in at a B. Very good. He could arguably be the best value prime keeper. He's 100k cheaper than CECH. But I don't think any of these are great value. And then CECH coming in at about 520 to 540. I'm looking at Xbox prices. He's B as well. Not much better value. The icon keepers are pretty bad value. If you can fit Team of the Annoyer in, he's better than all of them and a similar price to them anyway, so go for him. Back to our two left backs. Looking at value, Roberto Carlos is coming in at about 1.3 million. I am going to give him a D for awful. He's a pretty good card, which saves him from being an E, but 1.3 mil nearly for a left back. Team of the Year Davies is miles better than this card, like miles better, and not that much more. He maybe could push to a C, but I think it's a D. It's awful value, and I don't get why it's this much. Ashley Cole's about half the price, about 630k. Bit worse card, but I'm going to put him in at C to B. There's some very good English cards on this game that I can give chemistry to. I'm not quite putting it at a B, but C/B. You do have to remember the icon chemistry that these cards offer. Makes team build a lot easier. But a fullback, that icon chemistry is nowhere near as big a deal. So C/B for Ashley Cole. When it comes to value, it's based on a few things. The icon chemistry obviously helps. How good the card was initially is going to be part of it. Obviously, the actual price of the card. And also the nation is a slight boost. They get the icon chemistry anyway, but a good nation's an extra boost. So, like, if it was Ghana, Michael Essien's nation's not going to help him much. Whereas if it's a French icon, it's going to help. Lamb coming in at 1,050,000 coins. I am putting him in the D for awful. Nearly YA category, because he's not that good anyway. He's good, usable, but nowhere near worth that price tag. Trent is a lot better than this card, with great links as well, and cheaper. That says a lot. Carlos Alberto, 1.3 million. I'm going to put him at C, because he's up there, not far off one of the best right-backs in the game. Brazil's a great nation, and the icon chemistry is big, but it's C/D to us. 1.3 is crazy for a right-back. ZANETTI, coming in at 650, I'm putting him at a B. 650 for an Argentinian, strong link to Team of the Year Messi. That helps this card a lot. Not awful value, pretty good card as well. ZAMBROTTA at 750k, I'm giving him an A for value. That is a lot of coins for a right back, but you have to think we're getting one of the best right backs in the game, the icon chemistry. And part of my value ranking is going to be based on how expensive icons are anyway. You're not generally getting great value if you want an icon. Okay, starting off our value tier list on the icons is Maldini coming in at E. He right now is 5 million coins. Even if he's up there for one of the best centre-backs in the game, 5 million coins for a centre-back is just ludicrous. Never ever pay that, even if you have a nearly an unlimited budget, because you could go get Desai and Van Dijk. 5 million coins is an E. Absolute disgrace of a price. Interestingly enough, the value of cards steadily went up at a very similar position order to how I ranked the icon centre-back. So it suggests the community tend to agree with how they price these cards. Baresi, 450k. We're giving him an E. 450k for a near unusable icon. That's a rip-off. Bobby Moore, D/E, 350k, quite cheap, but he's so bad. Who cares about him? Nesta, D, 450k, pretty bad card, pretty expensive for a pretty bad icon. Hierro, D, pretty bad value again, considering he's not that good. Puyol, D, pretty bad value, not that good. All these are around 450k. It's pretty similar to what I can say about each one. KOEMAN, A D, he's better than some of these centre-backs, but he's 750k, and that is a rip-off. Cannavaro, C, because he's so much better than some of these other ones that we've already had. He's still a bit expensive at 1.1 mil for an icon, so I would probably put him C/D. Vidic, coming at 900k, I'm going C. He's very, very good. He's got the X-Man use things that make him popular. A very good card, and not crazy compared to some of the other icons, but not cheap, so C. Campbell, I'm going to give him a B. Very good. 850k is one of the better values on this list. You could even push him ahead of some of the others, I think, to be honest. I actually did that wrong. I forgot to move him when I thought about him. Campbell is, in my opinion, the second best value of them. Rio, I'm putting as a B/C. He is 1.7 mil. He's one of the very best icons, but very expensive. Desai at 1.3 is A for elite because he's that good. And then Campbell and Blanc are A's as well. None of them are S tier. 850k and 950k. They're very good centre-backs with good nations, but they're so expensive considering the centre-backs. I can't rank any of the icons S tier for value. Maybe we get to midfield or attackers, there might be some, but that is just the way icons are. I'm in disbelief at Maldini's price. Could not believe that. 5 mil. Just an absolutely crazy price. I did not expect that. On PlayStation, he's 5.4 mil. That's all the icons though. Let me know if you like this type of video and I will do more. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.